What up? This is a clip from our big NCAA basketball show. Let's get paid in full. Let's eat. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching odds.com. Let's have a big weekend. We move on, but we stay in the conference. In the Southland, McNeese Cowboys in action. Let me pull up the odds page. 6-8, 0-5 in conference at Houston Baptist Huskies. 2-11, 1-4 in conference. We're in Sharp Gymnasium in Houston, Texas. We have Houston Baptist opening up as 3.5-point favorites. That moves to 3. This total is shooting up quickly. It opened at 160.5. We see 161.5, or a couple 161.5s. We see some 162s. We see a 162.5. And a 163 has now graced the board. McNeese State has lost 6 straight to Division I teams. They're coming off a 92-88 loss at home to Southeast Louisiana. 92-88 on Wednesday night as 2.5-point favorites. I don't think I've ever read this stat before, Max, in a team that lost. They shot 64% from the field and 56.3% from three. I mean, just shock and awe. Senior point guard A.J. Lawson was excellent. 21 points, 12 assists, 7 boards. He's averaging 12.4 points, 5.6 assists, 5.6 boards. 6'8 Dominican senior Carlos Rosario, 9 of 10 from the field, 19 points. He averages 10.7 points, 5.4 boards. He's hitting 64.9% from the field. 6'9 senior Keyshawn Fizel averages 14.8 points, 10.5 boards. As a team, they shoot 51.2% from the field. This 6-8 team that's 0-5 in conference hits over 50% from the field, 39.4% from three, but just 64.7% from the stripe. Houston Baptist has lost 4 straight. They're 2-11 on the year, and yet they're 3-point or 3.5 or open as 3.5-point favorites. I can't wait for Max to break this down. They're coming off a 92-83 loss at home to Nicholls State on Wednesday night. They turned the ball over 24 times in that loss. They turned the ball over 17.9 times a game. Led by Pedro Castro, who went for 17.7 boards. He averages 13.8 points, 7.3 boards, and he hits 57.4% from three. They have just one other player averaging double digits, and freshman Zaonte Boothman. He averages 12.3 points. They shoot 43.9% from the field, 38.6% from three, 74% from the foul line. Max, tricky spot. Can't wait for you to break it down. McNeese Cowboys, Houston Baptist Huskies.
Well, Jim, you know I like to choose the biggest conundrums on the card for my show picks, and I definitely chose one because if you engage in your long-term memory, I believe I described to you a situation where McNeese State was down by double digits, was able to come back at home, had the opportunity to take a lead in the double bonus, missed 2 free throws, ended up losing by 4 to a team that they should have beaten by 8 points. So McNeese State, to me, is like that turd that you just can't flush down the toilet and you got to bust out your plunger. I don't like them. I don't like how they smell. I don't like how they play basketball. This team had a lot higher expectations, and they just have not met them. And while they may be 6-8 on the win-loss record, knowing that 4 of those wins in this month alone have come against non-D1 teams gives me no inspiration to take them even as a 3-point dog against the likes of Houston Baptist. Where Houston Baptist has been fantastic for you is not in this role. They are not Batman. They are not Robin. They are more like Alfred. So they need to be an underdog. They need to be an underdog of maybe 7 to 9 points. That's where I feel comfortable getting on Houston Baptist on the spread. But Jim, you know where I'm going with this game. Defensive issues for both of these teams. With Houston Baptist, they're allowing 81 in conference, and that's on a low scale. All right. They're definitely have a first half spread advantage of about 2 points. But with this McNeese State team, you just never know what you're going to get because on paper, they have capable 3-level scores that should be more successful than they have been so far this year. I think that with Houston Baptist, they have to limit 3-point shooting to have a chance in this game. When you look at McNeese State, although they're not prolific from the three, they are wise with the shot attempts that they take and make from three. In conference, they made about 8 at 40%, under 20 attempts. So I think that with Houston Baptist, what they need to do is they need to focus on getting to the free throw line and scoring with the clock stopped, because you know that McNeese is going to do the same thing. McNeese averages about 15 free throw makes a game in conference, while Houston Baptist is around 13. I think that with McNeese, you're going to have to give them a lot of field goal attempts because they are so good at penetrating the rim with guys like A.J. Lawson. I think that with McNeese, you have to take advantage of their three-point defense, because their three-point defense is even worse than Houston Baptist at around 43% so far through these early parts of conference season. Houston Baptist has never been a favorite. So from that aspect and looking at the number, you're just like, well, I don't get it. I don't get it. And obviously we know why Houston Baptist came out at this number, and his name is Ken Pomeroy, who we all know as educated now on how college basketball bookmakers post these openers. Well, they usually take what you average and what you average, split it down the middle, or they take the Ken Pom line. So in my opinion, there's no value taking Houston Baptist, but there's no way in hell you're going to get me to take McNeese State again. So what does that leave us with? Well, not the first half, because we don't have a number for that, but we're going to take the over, Jim. We're going to get on that over 161.5. Hopefully it's at minus 110 juice. And you know what? If McNeese State's going to do anything right in this game, hopefully they just don't play any fucking defense.
The 161.5 is juiced. It's minus 114. The 162 is at minus 110.
Give me the 161.5. Totals and half points make a difference in this COVID year with totals. Not normally, but this year they matter.
Over 161.5 at minus 114. That is available at FanDuel. Max is on the McNeese Cowboys, Houston Baptist Huskies over 161.5 at minus 114. We have 2 games left on Max's card. We head over to the A10. Conference Max enjoys immensely.